Hello and welcome along to the first Blue Yonder history ride. My name's Alan Binks and today you find me at the beautiful and historic Cilgerran Bridge. Apologies to all my Welsh friends for my mispronunciation. Behind me you can see the lovely Eastern Cleggai River, and there's the bridge a little way ahead. And today I'm going to be riding the R1200R. Today we're going to be riding up to the Pentre Ifan burial chamber, which is approximately 23 miles from here, and we'll be taking the circuitous route through the lanes and of wonderful, beautiful Pembrokeshire in Wales, going over the Preseli Mountains and dropping down to the Pentre Ifan burial mound, which, as I say, is situated just to the foothills of the Preselis. From there we're going to be riding over to Kilgaran Castle, and there I'll be telling you the amazing story of Princess Nest and William Marshall. So without further ado, let's get going. Narrow lanes. Got about a 23-mile ride from here up to Pentre Ifan. I'd say up the Preselis via Rosebush and Cock off, and the first one is to get to Gelly, which has got another super little bridge. Not exactly S1000RR territory, is it? Well, this is quite high where I am here, and it's usually pretty cold, and it's saying that the temperature is 20.5 degrees C, so for this part of Wales, that's pretty warm. Now we're a little bit further upstream from where I started, and there is Gelly Bridge being blocked by a tractor. This time, no. Well, part two, tractor very much stuck on bridge, so I had to do quite a bit of a detour back to where I came from, so it's cost me about 5-6 miles and probably 15-20 minutes, but anyway, we're back on track now, so onwards and upwards. Hello. That time of year when the farmers are out bringing in the hay. got about half a mile to a mile of fairly tight nadgery stuff, and a really tight corner coming up here. There we go. In fact, it's a stop and turn almost. There we go. To be honest, there's very few other bikes I'd rather be doing this lane on than this bike. It's incredibly capable. The GoPro won't be picking up how steep this is. It's pretty damn for crying out loud. Traffic jam.
Thank you. He's wondering what that is.
I know, motorbike.
Hello.
Now, the observant amongst you will probably notice that we're not actually at Pentre Ifan, or Ivan, should I say. No, when we came past, it was absolutely chocker, absolutely rammed. I've never seen the lay-by parking area there with more than one, maybe two cars in the past. Absolutely crazy. So rather than try and conduct a proper visit, you know, and proper filming, I've abandoned that for now. So we'll go straight on to Kilgaran Castle, and hopefully we'll have more success there. See you later. Well, here we are in Cilgerran. Just parked the bike here on the main street and just having a wander down to Kilgaran Castle. Mighty impressive main tower and gatehouse. This is where the drawbridge would originally have been, and a hell of an impressive ditch going on here. As you can see, the castle was built on rock, so there's no way you could undermine there. In the distance you see the figurines of Prince Owain and Princess Nesta. It doesn't really do it justice though, I don't think. And straight ahead we've got the figurine of William le Maréchal, William Marshal, 1st Earl of Pembroke, and the guy who actually built the castle as you see it now. You can see here is Portcullis Groove, inside of the gatehouse. As we come into the inner ward. William Marshal, 1st Earl of Pembroke, he's the guy responsible for building the castle as you see it now. Prior to that, it was just basically a wooden structure, Mott and Bailey type construction, and as a consequence of its fairly primitive design, it fell to the Welsh quite a few times. However, after William Marshal had put up the defences that we see now, it never actually fell in terms of a siege ever again. Although there is quite a good story about Princess Nesta, which I'll tell you shortly. Here is the West Tower, and mighty impressive it is too. William Marshal, of course, was known as the greatest knight of England, and made his fortune. He was the 4th son of a minor noble, and made his fortune and made his money on the tournament circuit around Europe. Now for a storyline straight out of the Game of Thrones. Story of Princess Nest. You can can see a figurine over there. Now, Princess Ness was born in approximately 1085, and she was a Welsh princess, and her father was the king of what is now Pembrokeshire and Ceredigion. He was, shortly after Norman conquest, he was in conflict with the Norman marcher lords, and he was defeated in a battle against the Normans at the Battle of Brecon in 1093. Poor young Nest and other members of the family were taken essentially as hostages and taken back to the court of King William II, William Rufus. There she caught the eye of Henry I, the man who was to be Henry I, the young man, the young prince, and they soon became lovers. And this was a theme that was set for the rest of Nest's life. As she got older, she was valuable as a Welsh asset and to keep control of the Welsh. So she was sent back here, and she was married off to a guy called Gerald of Windsor, who was the Norman vassal and was in charge looking after the country around these parts. So she and Gerald were set up in what was then Kilgaran Castle, not as we see it now, the original Kilgaran Castle, and her fame, as I say, was well known, and the beauty caught the interest, piqued the interest of Owain, who was the Prince of Powys. Now, he was a distant cousin of young Nest, and he came to visit one Christmas in the year 1108, and he was so smitten and taken with Nest, and you couldn't understand why, because she was a good-looking girl. He was so taken by Nest that he went back and arranged for a hand-picked bunch of 14 or 15 men to come back and steal in the middle of the night, which they did, and kidnapped young Nest, and would have put Gerald to the sword. But Gerald made his escape, but not in the most glamorous way. He slid down the guard-rope, which is actually the toilet chute. So no doubt it was quite messy after that. It's not sure whether Nest actually went willingly or whether she went unwillingly, but it seems that she tipped off Gerald that the attack was coming and enabled him to make his escape. Unfortunately, Owen came to a sticky end and he was ambushed by the English knights. A few years later he fled to Ireland, then came back, and he was ambushed and killed. Nest was retrieved, and again she was passed around and married off on a number of occasions, and it is said that she did produce upwards of 20 children to her different husbands throughout her life. Well, I do hope you've enjoyed our little ride around South West Wales and to Cilgerran and heard the story of Princess Nest. If you have, please hit the like button and subscribe if you feel that way, and until next time, ride safe, keep well. Bye now.